Hello and welcome to our video presentation of our beautiful 2010 Ferrari California. Now before we get onto this particular car, let's talk about Calis in general, because as a company we've sold a lot of these cars over the years. I think they're very undervalued. Let's look at the credentials. I mean, first of all, it's a Ferrari, and buying into that brand for many people is a life-changing experience. You cannot buy a decent Ferrari for sub £50,000-60,000, and that is a fact. You might be able to buy a Ferrari, but in today's marketplace you really struggle to get something that has the right credentials and be of the right quality. And I'm going to come on to this particular car and explain why it's so good shortly. So that's one thing. This car's got the normally aspirated V8 engine, similar to the 458. Absolute masterpiece, and it's coupled to its dual clutch transmission, which gives absolutely seamless gear changes. There's no clutch wear to worry about. Great driving experience, great sound, exactly what you would expect from a Ferrari. So Calis in general, folding hardtop. It's a practical car. You could use it daily, you could use it occasionally, all weather, all conditions. It really is such a versatile car and extremely good value, generally speaking. So this particular car then, so we sold it and we've bought it back into stock. We sold it a couple of years ago to a really proper owner. Why is this car so good? Well, first of all, we'll talk about the spec. Obviously the colour, Rosso Corsa, complemented with cream interior. Got the 20-inch wheels, Rosso calipers, windshields, parking sensors, all lovely to have. What differentiates this car from nearly all of the others is the spec inside. Daytona seats, heated and electric, but then a huge amount of carbon. So carbon steering wheel with LEDs, carbon around those air vents and that center console, even carbon on the door inlays, grab handles, kick plates. We've actually never seen a Cali with such a generous spec of carbon fibre in particular. So a real standout car, and as this is now 13 years old, we think having something that stands out is really a good thing. Also, this car has an impeccable Ferrari main dealer service history. So no independent services, there's nothing wrong with that, but buying this car today, you know it's been looked after from day one by the main agents with no expense spared. And that really is a massive plus point from an investment point of view, or the preservation of the value. So this car was last serviced in August 2023, which is just before it came on site. And we actually found out as well, brake discs are original and only 5% worn on the front. So why is that relevant? Well, it just shows how this car's been driven. Furthermore, the rear brake discs are 4% worn. So a lot of people would expect that, as most of the braking is done through the front wheels, especially on a front engine car like this. But it bears more relevance to us about how this car's been driven, in that the way the traction control intervenes on a California. If these cars are driven in a way where the tail end is slipping around and it's being driven hard, or almost drifted on some occasions, there's nothing wrong with that. Ferraris are built to be driven in that way if it's safe and legal to do so. However, when that happens on one of these, the rear brakes intervene to keep the car under control, and often cars can have quite heavy brake wear on the rear compared to the front if they've been driven in that spirited manner. So the fact that we know the percentage of the front and rear brake wear, and then we factor that into the overall impeccable condition, it just shows what a lovingly cared for and moderately driven car this is. It's just not had a hard life. So again, there's nothing wrong with a car that's been driven hard if it's been maintained properly. But I just think buying one of these cars now, it's just really nice to know that it hasn't been driven in that way. And then the overall driving experience and ownership experience going forward is just much better. So this is a really unique car in many respects. The spec, the condition, the history. I'm walking around it looking for any defects to point out or anything I can criticise the car on, and there's really nothing. We will get these exhaust tips polished up and final detailing done prior to handover, and then this car will look virtually indistinguishable from new. Just as I move around to the rear, another rare option is this carbon rear segment around the rear number plate. Again, just puts this car in a different position to the others spec wise. There's hardly any that have all this carbon. So a really special car, a great opportunity, such good value in general. I'm not going to go into that anymore. Please do some research on California's. California T, they're still commanding strong money, and they are a compromised engine compared to this. They haven't got the sound, they haven't got that natural power delivery. It's got the correct Bridgestone Potenza tyres all round. Wheels are in immaculate condition, the original diamond cut 20-inch sport rim. No excessive chipping in the wheel arches. Can't stress enough how difficult it is for us as a business to find cars like this, but we were fortunate. We did sell it to an existing client and insisted that we could have this car back when he'd finished his ownership, and that is now. So this car's available. It won't be here for long, I'm sure. Such a good car. We'll sell it with a 6-month warranty, a 12-month MOT, and we can deliver this car nationwide. Can take any part exchange, and we can arrange competitive finance. The plate is included. It may bear no relevance to the next owner, but it's a nice dateless V8 plate. Maybe could be retained should the next owner wish to, and sell it for $1,000 or $2,000. But we think it just suits the car and finishes it off nicely. So thank you for watching, and please get in touch if you have any inquiries.